Okay.
This is your first time in the second week of Wimbledon.
I know.
Does that feel like a long time coming for you?
It does. Yeah, considering I've lost a lot of close third-round matches. Silic comes to mind, and Songa as well. So very satisfied right now to be in the second week and also have 2 days off. That's nice. And I'll certainly enjoy tomorrow. I'll get to work. I'm not going to just sit on the couch all day. But no pressure at all. Sleep well tonight. We'll enjoy tomorrow and get back to work really hard on Sunday and be ready for Monday.
John, what improvements have you made in your game that have helped you do this well at Wimbledon this year?
Well, that's a good question. I made a decision not to play any warm-up events prior to Wimbledon. I think the most important thing I do is keep taking care of my body and make sure I'm physically fresh and, more importantly, mentally fresh. So I came into this tournament very eager and wanting to do well and gave myself 5-6 days of practice on these courts to get acclimated to them and get used to the conditions. And so right from the get-go on Monday, I felt like I was in a pretty good spot. Although I hadn't played since the French Open, I was pretty confident coming into this tournament because I have been playing well since Miami. So all of that combined has made for a good start here.
You get.
Go ahead. So now you finally love grass.
Yeah. Well, the grass is not Newport, Rhode Island. So, but I do. I like this grass. I mean, the courts are super firm this year. I really feel like they're playing like a hard court, which is my favorite surface. So that court out there today on court 2, it was extremely firm. I felt very comfortable out there. Of course, I'm taking care of my serve very well so far. That helps. And then that's allowed me to free up on return games and was able to do that today. And I think in the first set I broke right away, so I was off to a good start, and I was very comfortable throughout the whole match today.
So is ball's bouncing higher for you then? I mean, does it help? I'm sure it helps your serve kick up more and would help other guys too, like an Nadal forehand type situation? Or do you feel like it's a different sort of slanted playing field this year than
no,
years past?
I think it is. I mean, I like it. I do feel like the ball is getting up a little bit higher. Someone like Nadal definitely likes that as well. He seems to be playing pretty well. You should see him practice. It's absurd how hard he hits it. And so he's in a good spot. But for me, I like my serve in any conditions. But these conditions are very, very good for it.
John, we often think that a player who's fought back from match points and is still in the tournament is kind of it's like house money or liberated. Yeah. Is that silly, or what do you make of that?
No, it's not silly at all. You see it it's not just tennis. You see it in all sports. I mean, look at the Washington Capitals. They were down 2-0 in the first round series against Columbus. They lost 2 games at home. They won game 3 in overtime on the road, and then they were off from there. So it happens. It's not just tennis. You can see it in all sports.
Do you buy it for you?
Totally. So I bought it today. I knew that I was in a good spot going into this match today, and I played that way.
Federer talked a lot about the Swiss soccer team the other day.
Yeah.
You're a huge sports fan, follow the Panthers, Georgia football, et cetera, et cetera. How do you look at other sports as a way to learn and to just improve yourself athletically? Just talk about that a little bit.
Not so much to improve myself athletically, but to learn, I do. And I've gotten to know some other athletes from other sports, which I think is cool to talk to them about what they do to keep in shape, what they do to stay strong. Sidney Crosby was here last week, and I got to practice with him. Actually, I got him out on the court for 15, 20 minutes and got to meet him and talk to him and see what he does to stay in shape, and that dude works his tail off. And that's why he's the best hockey player in the world. So it's cool. So I've gotten to know through tennis a lot of other very unique athletes, and through that I have learned a lot.
Any Panthers?
Yeah, totally. I know quite a few of the Panthers and a lot of the guys that aren't playing anymore. So I've got a good relationship with Carolina Panthers, which is very cool for me.
How would you describe Sidney Crosby as a tennis player?
He was pretty good. He actually was a little bit nervous, I think. We were just practicing at Orangi, and once he started releasing his forehand, he started hitting the ball much better. But he's strong as an ox. It's crazy how strong his lower body is.
Does he play much?
No, he's
He's
recreationally, exactly. So, yeah.
Thoughts,
Yeah, go on.
thoughts on Tsitsipas next?
Yeah, I played him one time in Shanghai in a very weird match. We had moved. I don't know if you've been in that tournament before.
No.
Okay, so we moved indoors because of all the rain, zero atmosphere, no one there. It was a bizarre match. So super fast courts. I won 2 tiebreakers, but I can't draw anything from that. He's playing well. He's certainly one of the best young players we have in the game today. He's got a lot of talent and a lot of ability, but maybe I have experience on my side. We'll see which one comes out on the better side of things on Monday.
So I wanted to ask Sam Quayer's asked about US tennis, and obviously
Mhm.
15 years since
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And just your kind of read on the last 15 years and also the future of men's tennis, and it looks like a lot of young players are coming through, and whether that
The future of men's American tennis.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, well, we do have a lot of young players coming through. I mean, one guy that you guys might be talking to soon, Mackie McDonald, went through the college system like me, which is cool to see. Apart from him, of course, Francis and Taylor, and there's some other guys behind them as well. So I think our men's game is in pretty good hands. It will be in good hands in 4 or 5 years when these guys are hitting their prime. Trying to catch up to the women. They're stellar for the American women. So trying to get to their level.
And is the last 15 years just a case of Big Four have completely dominated? So most countries haven't.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, the stat apart from Silic and Stan 3 times and Del Potro, those guys have won them all, right?
Yeah.
So the era that I've played in the last 11 years, and the guys before me, Roddick, Marty, James Blake, Robbie Ginepri had played in, so it's a pretty tough era. And these guys are still doing it at such a high level, and Roger Federer's 36 and #1 player in the world. Maybe he's #2, but #1 seed here. So it's incredible, but I wouldn't change it for anything. So this is a very cool era to play in.
So do you think the young Americans are actually going to reach the top 10 at some point?
Yeah.
Or the top 5? All of them? Or just
No, it's hard to say all of them. It's hard to say all of them. I think, we'll see what happens. I really like Francis's game a lot. Once he just continues to evolve, I think get his serve better. He's got all the other shots apart from that, I think. So I think Francis is one to look out for. I really think he's got a bright future.
And you think he's gotten a lot better than last year?
Yeah, well, he keeps getting better.
Right.
And he's winning bigger matches, and we all know that he plays well against tough competition, top 10, top 20 players. So once he gets himself into that top 20 spot, we'll see how he performs. But for being so young and so talented, and I think pretty certain he's doing the right things. He's got a good team in his corner, so if he keeps that up, I really think he can go all the way.
Can you talk a little bit more about Tsitsipas, your next opponent?
Mhm.
I mean, his weapons.
Yeah, he's a big kid, very athletic. I saw some highlight of him diving on the grass. He's got a lot of talent, a good serve, moves well for his size, a good backhand, a good forehand. He doesn't have many weaknesses at all. So, I mean, I guess the only thing you can say is he doesn't have maybe. Brazil just scored, maybe. Doesn't have that much experience, but he's kind of showing right now that's not much of a factor. What is he, 19? So and he's seeded at this tournament, so pretty impressive.
On Mackie McDonald, okay, he's a Bruin, and he's a
Mm-hmm.
foot shorter than you, but good movement, really
Yeah.
calm out there. He's
Yeah.
won three straight matches.
Yeah.
So talk about him and how he's doing so well for a
Yeah.
5'10" guy and his future.
Yeah, I practiced with him last week prior to the tournament, and I told my coach that if he got in a good spot of the draw, meaning if he didn't play Roger first round or Rafa or one of these guys because he's unseeded, that I would not be surprised at all if he did some damage, and he's doing that right now because he was hitting the ball very well. I think grass is a surface that suits his game especially well. So I'm not surprised that he's in the round of 16 right now.
Anticipation, speed, and how could he do against Raonic?
I mean, Raonic is still playing right now, so he can give a lot of players trouble with how he's playing, and his confidence should be growing as well. So he's a threat here.
Ben Funding.
What's it feel like to be the highest seed left in your quarter of the draw?
Yeah, it's
I don't know if it's happened
guess-
to you before to slam. Probably not.
yeah, maybe it has, but yeah, I mean, maybe I don't even know. I honestly don't know if I were to win, who I would play.
You played the Mackie.
Oh, okay, so we'll see. Look, I it is what it is. I'm not like, oh, it's not in my head now or anything like that. But
Sorry.
no, it's not at all. But I look, I certainly embrace this position. I'm seated 9th for a reason, so I think I can definitely do better than the round of 16. But it all starts on Monday because I have a very, very tough match. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, see ya.
Okay,
Yeah.
Did you guys have any video when you played against Crosby?